hope everybody's doing okay. The author here, and this is my first video. Well, not really. You see, I used to have two other attempts at handling the channel. The first was for comedic effect in 2022, and the second, I guess I could say, multitasks in 2024, but those went wrong in their own ways. So here's my third and hopefully final attempt by starting a series of LEGO train MOCs of my own. I got the ideas from two awesome channels, British Bricks and Smith Movies, who made spectacular train MOCs of famous British steam engines, like Flying Scotsman, Mallard, Green Arrow, or the LNER P2. And two things I love are Legos and British steam trains, so I'll also give it a try. And there are an assortment of other things I'll do throughout the channel, don't worry, but I'll start with Lego trains, because why not? And what better way to start than with my favorite, a Lego J70 Tram, or a GERC53 class, whatever you call it. Now some questions might spark on your mind, one of them being, why is it green? Good question. Now I know that almost all of the J70s that existed were brown, well not almost all, basically every single one, but there were two drawbacks. One, not all the pieces I needed to actually build this were in brown, and secondly, Lego brown bricks are prone to being extremely fragile. Well, old Lego brown bricks. So I went through the web and saw this digital image of a steam tram in green, and I loved it, even though it wouldn't exist in real life. But there is a bit of history surrounding the build, but I'll first go through the history of the tram itself. The Great Eastern Railway C-53 class trams were designed by James Holden, the chief mechanical engineer of the GER at the time, and they were mainly used for freight and light passenger work throughout cities, and 20 were constructed between 1891 to 1892. Sadly, none of them survive today, but their legacy still move on. I finished my first design in December. I'm not really ashamed to say that this is kind of disappointing. I built it in 6 studs wide, and that wasn't a good choice because it looked thin, and the side plates awkwardly bulged out, so I widened it to a more appropriate 7 studs. However, this model had another problem. The front was horribly messy. I took a break later on, and in February, I cleaned up the model again, and it led me to this. I was happy with it, but the cow catchers were extremely boxy, and I still hadn't fixed that black square in the middle because it was completely random. So I did a 4th attempt to fix these issues, and I was tremendously happy with the results. But there was one more problem. It was light and hollow. So I had a perfect idea. Why not motorize it? So that's exactly what I did. I basically used the powered up system since Power Functions has an IR receiver which would be impossible to fit with a motor and battery box. And also I'm too lazy to buy any Bluetooth circuit cubes. I also had to do some very tedious things to get it to function, but it looked superb once it finished. I mean, kinda superb. Now on to design. The model is 7 studs wide and about 18 studs long. There are lots of studs at the top and sides, but I'd say it doesn't ruin it that much. Besides, you can tell it was made by Lego anyways. I didn't add a whistle or a bell, so that's note for the future. And I don't like how the wires are visible, but besides all of that, everything else looks fine to me. If you have any more drawbacks about the model, please don't hesitate to tell me in the comments. Now the J70s had an 060 wheel arrangement, but with powered up I could only add 4, which isn't much of a problem considering that side plates hide this feature. I'll be planning to fix it later, probably in the future. Now before I could give the green light, I had to do some tests. My first test was navigation. It did very well on turns, and the junction test satisfied me too. It was very smooth, so it gets 1 mark for that. Next was shunting. Now even though J70s weren't necessarily built for those jobs, it could still handle my miscellaneous rolling stock well, and the strength test was also fairly well for its size, another mark for that. My final tests were resistance, mainly because crashing models are cool. The J70 Tram lost part of her front cow catchers, but the buffers were completely destroyed. 1 and 1 extra mark because it was fun to do. I've also made a coach for it. Not the best, but I'll change it soon. Or maybe not. Overall, I'm very satisfied with this model, and I hope to make more soon. Thank you so much for watching. ATheAuthor out.